All right, good morning, guys. Happy Thursday. Let's do a quick sound check here. Make sure we are cooking with gas. As a wise man once said, if we're wrong, if we're good to go, let me know here in the comments. We should be good. We should be good, but you know what they say about assumptions. All right, S. More. Good stuff. So we just got the PPI report, and I'm pretty sure that's it for the economic calendar. Let us go take a quick look here. But I'm pretty sure that's all she wrote for this week. Alrighty. PPI, jobless claims, all that good stuff. And then tomorrow you have a couple things tomorrow, but that's pretty much it. So with all of that out of the way, taking a look here at the futures, you've got the S&P futures up about 0.25%. And the signals are a little bit mixed. 2-hour and the 1-hour are neutral. We've got a buy signal on the 30-minute, 15-minute is neutral, and we got a 5-minute sell signal. Little bit of back and forth, and then for squeezes, we have a 2-hour, 1-hour, and a 15-minute squeeze. We shall take a look here at the 1-hour. And like I mentioned yesterday, I think a good point in the market. Try to shift a little bit of your focus over to a lower time frame squeeze. Very strong market, very overbought market. If they want to keep on pumping it higher, I think your entry, your exit, your plate of opportunity, that could come from something like a 15-minute, 30-minute, or an hourly squeeze. And if you can get 3 or 4 of them at once, even better. Let's see. Not a bad looking squeeze. The signals are neutral. If they want to take that higher, I'd like to have the slingshot signal. And you kind of had that here all morning with that blue arrow. So we'll keep an eye on that. And then over on the NQ, big dog. We got the NQ up about 1/3%, and not really anybody home here. 2-hour, 1-hour, 30-minute, 15-minute neutral. There goes crude with a 5-minute sell signal and squeezes on the 2-day time frame, the daily time frame, the 4-hour time frame, the 1-hour, and the 15. And it would look like that 4-hour squeeze might be perfect. Yeah, indeed it is. Perfect 4-hour squeeze. Big 3 score is 10 out of 10. We got the buy signals. We got the squeeze. We've got good structure. We are above that trailing stop. And the combination of all the above makes for an A+ setup. Now, the only problem is you take that good-looking 4-hour squeeze, you pop open the hood, you kind of run that through the X-ray machine. We don't have a buy signal on any other time frame. If we were to sit here and study 4-hour squeezes, right, the ones that fire to the upside, pretty much every single time, before and during a big push higher out of a nice 4-hour squeeze, that 5-minute time frame, the 15, the 30-minute, the 1-hour, most time frames from the ground up, they should crank out that buy signal as well. I think that gives you a bit more confirmation, a bit more conviction, and if anything, that can trigger the push. So the 4-hour looks good, and that's about it here for the NQ. Let's go check the YM, the Dowski. Dow Jones up about 1/3. Got a few more buy signals here. The 4-hour, the 2-hour, the 30, and the 15. And for a squeeze, we got a 15-minute squeeze. Nothing all that exciting. And then the rut, the IWM futures. Wow, my entire finger is purple. Jeez. I did deadlifts today with my wedding ring on. Wow, not a good idea. I'm looking like one of those Mount Everest climbers. Anywho, the rut. Ugh, nasty, nasty. No buy signals, a 5-minute sell signal, couple squeezes, 4 hour, 1 hour, 15. I can't call for a push higher out of any of those squeezes. If from the 4 hour chart down to the 5, we don't have anything in the form of a buy signal. So I'm going to chalk it up to a quiet futures market. Couple squeezes, a pretty big lack of buy signals. That all kind of makes for a hurry up and wait type of morning. I will show you crude oil here. I think as far as setups in general, the equities market, the futures, the stocks, this might be one of the better looking setups out there. That's a little bit more up my alley, where we got a few squeezes. A weekly, a 3-day, a 2-day, a daily, a 15. But then I can take all those squeezes, I can call for a push higher because I've got all these buy signals. Buy signals on our daily chart down to our 5. So crude looking pretty good. And then on the cash market, SPX and the QQQ, think we got a few squeezes here. And when the cash market opens, you can keep an eye on these. SPX, a 30-minute and a 15. 30-minute neutral. Not really going to knock off your socks either which way. Over on the QQQ, we got a 2-day squeeze, a 4 hour and a 15. IWM, a 3-day squeeze, a 4 hour, a 2 hour, a 1 hour, and a 15. And then the Dow Jones, 2-day squeeze, daily squeeze, and a 4 hour squeeze. So take the IWM, for example. We're going into the session, and across our lower time frames, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 different time frames in a squeeze. What I think you want to do is watch the 15-minute first. Before they can fire the 1 hour, long or short, before they can fire the 2 hour, before they can fire the 4 hour, they got to get that 15-minute going. So a couple squeezes for the open, and then for the big boys here, I think Nvidia a huge part of this market. And I think a lot of us saw that yesterday where the S&Ps are trying to grind higher, the QQQ trying to grind higher. Anytime Nvidia goes lower, because this thing's such a beast, it puts a little pressure on the market. So I think your key level here is going to be 900. Above 900, and 900 is a pretty big level. It's a big, sexy round number. It is the spot gamma call wall. It's a big level. So Nvidia above that 900, they might want to keep the push going. And I think any push here in Nvidia should help out the market. Under 900, and I know this might be crazy talk. Nothing pulls back anymore. But keep in mind, like a lot of things out there, Nvidia's pretty overbought. Doesn't matter until it matters, but it's pretty overbought. So not to say we're going to pull back to the 825 level, back down to our daily 21 EMA. But I do think if it just kind of hangs out around 900, Nvidia might take a few days off to catch its breath. And then the indices might not have as much wind at their back. From the big boy Nvidia, pre-market bid and ask is at 893. So we're going to gap down about 15 buckaroos. Let's go check out SMCI. We're going to gap down about 10 bucks, which in the grand scheme of things is basically nothing. And then for a few of your tech stocks, I told my dad to buy Microsoft on Tuesday. I'm trying to grow my future inheritance, you know. But Microsoft's pretty clean. We got a daily squeeze. We got a slingshot signal. The fact of the matter is, I don't think it's going to be a Microsoft thing. I think it's going to be a QQQ thing. And again, I think a big part of QQQ is going to be Nvidia. So kind of put all the pieces together here. But in a normal situation, that's a good-looking daily squeeze. We've got the slingshot signals coming through. Good structure. 8 out of 10 on the big 3 score. Yeah. Through that big 420, the lucky 420, 425, 430 should be within reach. All comes down to the QQQ. So that one looks pretty good. You got Meta over here. Meta with a little bit of a cool off. However, of interest, we do have a brand new daily squeeze. Not saying that fires long, not saying it fires short, but we've got the compression. Today will be day 2 of that compression. From there, you play my favorite game in the world. We got a daily squeeze. And during that daily squeeze, if price is above our 21 EMA, and we've got a 5-minute, 15-minute, 30-minute, 1 hour, we got nothing but lower time frame buy signals, you have to call for a push higher. If we are under the 21 EMA, 5-minute, 15-minute, 30-minute hourly sell signals, a little bit easier to call for a short. As it currently sits, I can't call for anything. We're only 1 day into a squeeze. The structure is pretty good. We've got nothing as far as a 5-minute, 30-minute hourly buy signal. It is a little bit neutral. And then Amazon, minus the daily squeeze, it's a little bit similar to Meta. Kind of hanging out near that 21 EMA. Good structure. You're above that trending stop. A little bit of back and forth up here. And then the problem child, or the problem children, rather, you've got Apple and you've got Tesla. So Apple here, going to gap up a little bit. Here's the problem, though. Apple would have to gap up to 185. I think we need a $14, $15 gap up for the daily chart to even look decent. And even a gap up back to 185 doesn't fix the structure issues, doesn't fix the issues in the signals. So Apple's pretty iffy here. And I think a decent chance. They might want to take it down to 165-ish. We had that 3-day squeeze that fired short. Down at 165-ish, you have your 3-day 200. You've got a previous level of support. So there might be another $5 or $6 of downside here for Apple. And then Tesla. Big bad Tesla. Sell signals on pretty much every time frame. Which in this market, that's, I don't think impressive is the right word. But that's kind of a rare sight. Big 3 scores a -10. Meaning you take all the structure criteria, all the momentum criteria, everything that goes into the big 3. Tesla cannot be any worse. Right? The worst you can get is a -10. So that's pretty nasty. I think the most interesting thing here for Tesla has got to be that big monthly squeeze. And I think as you've seen from S&Ps, the S&Ps had a monthly squeeze back in April, May. That monthly squeeze can definitely pack a punch. So we've had the squeeze since May. Not May of last year, May of 2022. which means we're going on about almost 2 years of monthly compression, building up energy for the next big move. Until things change, and change in a really big fashion, if we take into consideration all of the sell signals across every other time frame, meaning everything inside of this monthly squeeze favors the bears. Until they can change that, there'd be a better chance it breaks short than it breaks long. Very nasty stuff. And then the last one here would be Google. You may have heard of it. That's a little search engine. Google's just bleh. Not crazy bullish like an Nvidia. Not crazy bearish like a Tesla. A little bit eh. We've got a weekly squeeze and a 3-day squeeze. The scoreboard for the weekly chart is a 7. Positive 7 out of 10. So it does lean a little bit bullish. And then the 3-day squeeze is a 1. A big fat whopping 1. So it's a bit of a mixed bag. You got Google, you got Apple, you got Tesla. They leave a lot to be desired. You've got Meta and Amazon. They hold up pretty good. You got Nvidia, SMCI. Up to this point, they've been crazy strong. And then we've got a pretty overbought market. Right, one thing for the daily chart to be overbought, one thing for the weekly chart to be overbought. I think a totally different thing for the monthly chart. Be all the way up here at that monthly 3 ATR. So again, my best piece of advice, whether it be a long, whether it be a short, try to shift a little bit of your focus to a lower time frame. If you can pick your spots, take your entries, and better yet, take your exits on an intraday basis, I think you'll sleep a little bit better at night. So that's what I got for y'all. And for those of you in the mastery, I'll be on the mic today at 10:30 a.m. Central. And yeah, we'll have a squeeze focus. We'll watch your futures. We'll watch your cash markets. And we'll try to find a few good trades here. We shall not force the issue, but we'll see what we got. So any questions, anything y'all want to take a look at, throw it at me here in the chat. And we can hang out for another 15 or 20 minutes or so. Let me go check crude one more time. All right, crude. Time to put on your big boy pants and get that breakout going. No more fooling around. Time to break out. All right, Robert, good morning, my friend. Goldman, or I'm sorry, Morgan Stanley. Let's check XLF first. Nothing bad I can say about it. It is quote unquote overbought, but so's the entire market. And then I do think you have a monthly squeeze here. Yeah, you do. And it just fired to the upside. So, not in a straight shot. Not without a few potential pullbacks, maybe some consolidation, but bigger picture. Monthly squeeze fired. That calls for a push towards 43 and change. Again, maybe not in a straight line, but as a general statement, that can give you some pretty good wind at your back for the Goldmans, the BACs, the Morgan Stanleys, the Wells Fargos. So, Morgan Stanley. We got a daily squeeze. We got a 2-day squeeze. I really like the 2-day squeeze. And here's why I like it. We've got the slingshot buy signal. What I like about it a bit more, risk versus reward. We're not up here at 2 to 3 ATR. We're not chasing it higher. If I can buy it at 89.30-ish, I'm going to cut that trade off about $3 lower on a break of the 2-day 21 EMA. So I'm looking at about a $3 risk in exchange for about a $5 or $6 profit into the upside. The squeeze calls for, I'm going to round up a bit and call it 95 bucks. So I do like that. Let's go take a look at Goldman. Will Goldman ever break out? Now, for the record, I haven't traded Goldman. With that being said, I've still found it a little bit irritating because you've got this big daily squeeze pretty much all year long. And my question is, all right, what's the holdup here? We got the strongest market ever. We got a big breakout in XLF. Wells Fargo made a push higher. BAC made a push higher. And evidently, Goldman is afraid of its own shadow above 398-ish. If they can break it out, this could have potential. And I say that because we have a big nested squeeze. The 2-hour, the 4-hour, the daily, the 2-day, the 3-day time frame. And I also believe the monthly time frame all squeezed up. 4-hour squeeze fires, that can trigger your daily squeeze. The daily squeeze fires, that can trigger the 2-day. The 2-day can trigger the 3-day, and off you go. But yeah, I like that 2-day squeeze over in Morgan. I do. Paul, so the arrows on the charts, if it's a blue arrow, that's what I call the slingshot signal. If it's a green arrow, that's the official buy signal, and the red arrow would be the official sell signal. Hey, good morning, Tony. How are you, my friend? Capital One. Yeah, Capital One's in the same boat. Oh, yeah, I like it. I've got to like it. 15-minute, 30-minute, 4-hour, daily, 2-day, 3-day squeeze. I'm sure you guys have seen those dolls. Like, you got a big doll, you open up that one doll, there's a smaller one. You open up that smaller doll, there's another one. What do they call them? I forget what they call them, but that's basically a nested squeeze. You've got one inside of another, inside of another. Those can make for some of your best trades. You get a crap load of wind at your back. 4-hour squeeze looking really good. Yeah, I like it. Now, like everything else out there, if today is the day that the S&P 500 just totally falls apart, like today's day one of the big pullback, I don't think anything works. And granted, there's going to be a few things that work, but that's always my mentality. Indexes first, then the stocks. S&P 500 holds up. Better yet, the S&P 500 keeps pushing higher. I think given the fact that XLF looks really good, things like Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan, Goldman, Capital One, they should do really well. It's a good setup. Now the question is, can the index and the sector give you that wind at your back? But I like it. Jared, good morning. Palantir. Yeah, Palantir's a nice looking squeeze. Got a 15-minute and the daily chart's perfect. Got all those green labels there. The only thing I would look for today, all right, we got a good-looking daily squeeze. In my opinion, all that does is just set the stage for what could be a nice push. We got a squeeze, we got a buy signal. All right, perfect. Now the stage is set for what could be a push up here towards 28 bucks. That might be a ticking time bomb. We got to find something to light the fuse. What I look for to light the fuse, lower time frame buy signals. That's what triggers my entry. Not the daily squeeze alone, but that daily squeeze and then that 4 hour, the 2 hour, the 30, the 15, they're all cranking out that buy signal. So if you can get a few of those today, it's in a really good spot. You buy it near 25. I think you're cutting it loose around 24, and you might catch a $3 push. You risk 1 and change to make about 3 and change. I like that. You don't need an 80, 90% win rate to make that kind of strategy work. So I'm a fan. I am a fan. Don't Google that. All right, I won't. Danny, what's up, my friend? Crowd. Yeah, crowd's gorgeous. She's gorgeous, George. She's gorgeous. Daily squeeze, slingshot signal, good structure, above that trailing stop. And then going back to the Palantir, that's what I'm looking for from Palantir. Beautiful daily squeeze, 4 hour, 2 hour, 1 hour, 30-minute, all kinds of lower time frame buy signals. 30-minute chart says, hey, let's go higher. 1 hour chart says, hey, let's go higher. You got the 2 hour and the 4 hour saying the same thing. In the context of a daily squeeze, that might want to shoot for a push towards 370. So yeah, I like crowd. I like it. Yeah, the Russian nesting dolls. That's it. David, great minds think alike. I'm gonna get that done for us. Where the multi-time frame squeeze labels will have the slingshot. I spent about an hour on it last night. I had it working perfectly. I went downstairs, got a drink, came back upstairs, and I don't know what happened. It all went to crap. So I got to figure out where the bug is. But that will be in the update. We got a few things already finished, a couple labels over here, but I am working on that. Robert, Eli Lilly, or as I call her, Lily Bell. So what I would wait for here would be the blue arrow. The blue arrow being the slingshot signal. Right, and a quick example here of the slingshot. We look at the monthly chart here for the SPX. You've got two different variables. When we're trying to judge the quality of a chart, we're trying to figure out the path of least resistance. You've got structure, then you've got momentum. Momentum for me comes from the squeeze histogram, right? And that momentum line is a MACD line. Structure in its basic form, if you have your 21 above your 50, 21 EMA trending higher, the 50 is trending higher. You got your 50 above the 200 is trending higher. At a basic level, that's good structure. Good structure for the bulls. Think of that like the foundation of your house. You got a good foundation. So sometimes they'll take down the price. Right? We're getting a big pullback. We're getting a big break in momentum. Momentum goes through a bit of a bear cycle. But they never break the structure. 21 EMA stays above the 50. The 50 stays above the 200. 50 keeps trending higher. The 200 keeps trending higher. Think of it like a hurricane. We sat through a bit of a momentum hurricane. They never knocked down our house. Right? The foundation held up really well. In other words, that's the bear's best chance. Big momentum break, big pullback. If they can't even break the structure, they've pretty much accomplished nothing. From there, if we have a squeeze, if we still have good structure, and then momentum can bottom and then turn back up towards zero, then we get the blue arrow. The blue arrow is basically the heads up. Pay attention. Sometime soon, you might get a buy signal. And if you can get a buy signal in the context of a squeeze, they probably want to take it up there towards that 3 ATR. We're getting the heads up all the way back here in April, May, that they might want to take that monthly squeeze for a push towards 5,000, 5,100. And now here we are. Our Bank of America trade from about a week or two. All right, they're pulling back the price. Momentum going through a bear cycle. They never broke the structure. 21 above the 50, 50 above the 200, 21 trending higher, the 50 trending higher. Momentum bottoms, turns back up towards zero. We get that blue arrow giving us the early heads up. Pay attention. You might get the green arrow sometime soon. We got the green arrow, squeeze fires, and off she goes. So going back to Lily here, if you can get that, right, in the context of a strong uptrend, in the context of good structure, that should do the trick. And then you throw a few lower time frame buy signals into the mix as well. Claudia, buenos dias. Jim, what's up, Jim? Give me another week or 2 weeks. I know y'all are being patient. I really appreciate it. I've got these labels all done. So everything you see here is perfected. I've got a little bit more work to do on the multi-time frame squeeze labels. I want to be able to plug in the slingshot signal. And then I've got one more other thing I'm working on that I don't think I've showed anybody. So I'm going to keep that one a secret for now. But yeah, give me another 1 or 2 weeks. With any luck, I can get everything finalized this weekend. Send it over to the team on Monday, and then maybe push the update a few days later. But we are cranking. We are cranking. Good morning, Terry. Always good to see you, my friend. David, Robert, Mike, Johnny. Thank you for all the good mornings, guys. I appreciate it. Yeah, Danny, we'll see how long Nvidia's red for. We shall see how long they can keep the beast at bay. Now, the last thing I'm going to do is short Nvidia, and none of this matters until it matters. But if anything, just some context. Never mind the monthly 21 EMA. Nvidia is $200 above monthly 3 ATR. And again, I'm not calling for a big pullback. Just kind of talking amongst friends here. Tomorrow morning, Nvidia could gap down $200. The monthly chart would still be incredibly overbought. If anything, that's just a sign of strength. We are about $90 above our weekly 3 ATR and about $250 above the weekly 21. I'm not calling for it. I'm not going to short it. But for context, Nvidia could gap down $250 tomorrow The weekly chart would not change. Everything would still be bullish. A little bit more likely, potentially, than a big $250 pullback. I think it'd be a few weeks of nothing. Nvidia's not ripping higher. It's not falling apart. If a guy can dream, selfishly, what I would love to see, with every fiber of my being, Nvidia just takes a breather. Maybe we pull back a little closer to a daily 21. And then could y'all imagine a brand new daily squeeze in Nvidia? I mean, talk about back up the dump truck. Buy those calls. A guy can dream. Maybe my great-grandchildren will get a chance to to buy a pullback in Nvidia. And I'm sure at that point it'll be pulling back to $9,000. But I do think you want to watch Nvidia the same way you would watch a market internal. You're watching the volatility index, you're watching the ticks, you're watching the advanced decline, you're watching the skew. I think you really want to watch out Nvidia. The market opens and then boom, Nvidia starts to catch a bid. Right, it's popping, a little rally coming through. That should help the S&Ps and the Qs at least hold up or go higher. Market opens, Nvidia gaps down, and we're going down to 890, 885, 880. Is Nvidia the end-all, be-all? Not quite, but I think it's a really big deal. Any pressure in Nvidia could mean some pressure pretty much everywhere else. Things to keep an eye on. All right, crude. You being a big boy here? Almost. For those of you in the mastery, we might want to throw crude into our rotation. Our futures trading rotation. I've only traded it a few times. I really like buying the calls and puts on it. The calls and puts on the crude oil futures. Percentage-wise, you can get a really nice bang for your buck without having to catch a huge move, which is always nice. Always nice. All right, y'all, a few more questions, and then we'll call it a session here. Hey, Graham, how are you? Energy. Energy's got a beautiful monthly squeeze. Better yet, you've also got a weekly squeeze. Squeeze on squeeze. The daily chart is very bullish. Yeah, the weekly is looking really good. Now, going back about two weeks ago, there was your first heads up. We got this big squeeze. Now, notice you've had a squeeze since November. The big 3 indicator doesn't call for a long until that bar right there. And even me, myself, I can get a lot better at this. Listening to my own indicator, at no point over the course of November, December, January, February, should you have looked for a long. Slingshot signal comes through. Now you can look for a long. That's the first heads up. Not right away, right? Not today, not next week, but as the weeks go by, they might want to take that squeeze towards $95. Off to a pretty good start here. But I think the bigger story has got to be that monthly squeeze. I think 6 months out, grabbing a few cheap out the money calls up there at $100, based on the monthly squeeze, I think that makes a lot of sense. Energy looking pretty sharp. Pretty sharp indeed. Robert, the SPY on lower time frames. When the market opens up here in a few minutes, it'll change a little bit. But at the close yesterday, it's mixed at best. You had a 2-hour and a 1-hour buy signal. The 30-minute and the 15-minute were neutral. You had a 5-minute sell signal. For now, the futures might give us a little bit of a clearer picture. I think it makes for a tough read. If we can go into the open and we got a couple of squeezes, and then from a 4-hour chart down, you've got nothing but buy signals or nothing but sell signals. Perfect. Now I can take my squeezes. I can take that compression, and now I can call for direction. When it's a bit more mixed, things are neutral. We got one buy signal, we got one sell signal. To me, that means, all right, I don't have a good trade just yet. And although I might miss a push, I might miss a good flush, it's just not my moment in time. Before I let you guys go, let me find a quick picture for you real quick. All right, slides. So this was from, I want to say Tuesday. Come on now. I think I broke it. Come on, computer. Bear with me. Okay, one more try. So this was Tuesday, Tuesday morning. All right, S&P futures. 2-hour squeeze, 2-hour buy signal. At the same exact time, 1-hour squeeze, 1-hour buy signal. At the same exact time, 30-minute squeeze, 30-minute buy signal. At the same exact time, 15-minute squeeze, and you eventually got the 15-minute buy signal. For a day trade, I can't ask for anything better. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 squeezes. I got all that compression, that big buildup of energy, and on each and every one of them, I can call for the same direction. To me, that's perfection. So if that's perfection, then the current market this morning, all right, on the futures, we got a couple squeezes, and the signals are not the greatest. For the most part, everything is just really neutral. If we go check the cash market, the SPX, got a 30-minute and a 15-minute squeeze. However, each of those time frames are neutral. They don't call for a long, they don't call for a short. I'd have to sit back and wait. That means I might miss the move, but if I miss it, it was never my move to catch to begin with. If I got a 30-minute and a 15-minute squeeze and a 1-hour, a 30-minute, a 5-minute, a 2-minute, a 1-minute buy signal, all right, I'm going to buy those calls. If I got a 30-minute, 15-minute squeeze and nothing but sell signals, all right, I'm going to buy those puts. Where this morning for me would be a do-nothing kind of morning until I get a bit more clarity. But all right, my friends, thank you very much. Hey, out of curiosity, if y'all want to do this every day of the week, I'm down for it. I enjoy it. I think a few of you find it helpful. I know we do it every Monday and Wednesday, but if y'all want to do every day of the week, you can let me know here. Let me know in the simpler rooms over on Twitter, and we might just do that. But hey, thank you for your time. Always appreciate it. Hope y'all have a great day. Stay patient. Be disciplined. For those of you in the mastery, I will see you at 10:30 a.m. Central, and we'll keep the party going from there. Adios, y'all.